Hey everybody and welcome. This video is about setting part numbers for an entire Onshape assembly structure based on your OpenBOM settings. In other words, getting part numbers from OpenBOM for Onshape. I have chosen a simpler assembly for the purpose of this demonstration so that I can focus on the process. But you might think about this as a new design. So I'm going to take a look at the parts that are in my Onshape assembly. And I want to look at them, individually. There's a few cases I want to point out. I've got my categories set up. There's a video on that. This is a sheet metal. This one's also sheet metal, but it already has a part number. Maybe I used it in another assembly. Here's a bushing. It's a molded part. There's a plunger here. Notice that this plunger has no part number, no category assigned, which means we're just going to get a part number from Onshape items. So let's see how that works. And then finally, there's a molded part here. So I've got a number of parts, some new, some existing. I've got different categories set. It's kind of a typical new design. Remember, the purpose of this video is fetching part numbers for an entire assembly tree. So I'm going to come over to the assembly tab. And one thing I want to point out first is that this assembly also has some standard hardware in it. There's another video on managing standard hardware from Onshape. Onshape fasteners are not parts in that they don't have a part number property, and that value is set actually within the standard content library right here. So if you're using that, fine. If you're not, this video works either way, but there's another video that gives some best practices on dealing with that kind of in detail. So here I am. I'm sitting in my Onshape assembly. Got my categories set up for the parts that I'm concerned about. I'm going to use the new OpenBOM flyout here, OpenBOM items. So this is really simple. I say, yep, I'm going to use categories. There's another video on how to map those categories. We've already seen that. I'm going to tell OpenBOM that, look, if you don't have a category, put this thing in Onshape items. And then finally, I'm going to get part numbers. I have a little message here about what's going to happen. And I say yes. And so what's happening now is OpenBOM for Onshape is going through my list, checking each part if it has a part number. If it doesn't, going and fetching one from OpenBOM. And here we go. So let's take a look, and see what's happened now. Let's go back to our part studio. Let's take a look at some of these items in here, and we'll see now that each of these have a part number. This is sheet metal. Let's look at our bushing. Yeah, I've got a molded part. This part here already existed, no change. Another rubber end. This one got a molded part because it's molded category. So that's how you manage getting part numbers for an entire assembly using categories. As the next item, I'd go on and build a bill of material and whatnot. So that's new in April 2022. I hope you find that useful. I'd love to hear from you at support@openbom.com. Thanks.